Okay, there are two 12-inch LED lights on each side of the bed. Let me pan out so you can see what's going on here. You've got a strip here and another on the back, and then it's the same on the opposite side. What I did was the excess cable that sits out the back end, all I did was tuck that into the back of the bed. On the inside, I came in and just drilled a hole in to where this ends, and this plastic strip will lift up, and you can actually pull these wires down. And you can cut the excess wire off before you join the next strip. And what I used on here, sorry, it's a little shaky. What I used on here was 16 gauge butt connectors, and then ran another hole, came right back into the next one, and then ran the wiring up and around, and then back down to the back of the bed. It's all hidden in here. Now when we come to the opposite end of the bed, same story, same setup, except I came down and ran into the weather stripping on the bottom of the bed, and I pulled the weather stripping back and just tucked the wiring all the way back across, and then it keeps it really clean. Now when you remove the tailgate cover, which is going to be necessary to install your switch, what we did was we came into the first block on the top. We took the switch, and it sits just on the very first plate. When you remove this front plate, and this is a standard zip tie, I think it was 10 inches to hold it in place. Now the switch has to be it has to be kind of put in at a ramp. This has to actually be inclined, set back farther on the bottom than it does on the top, so that when the tailgate closes, the lights will shut off. Then you're going to run your wires. Make sure that the wires are facing down when you put your switch in. The wires should come out of the bottom of the switch. That way when the tailgate comes up, lights go off. Larry, can you close that tailgate? And as Larry closes that tailgate, you're going to notice that the lights are going to, tailgate's closed, lights are off. When he opens them, tailgate opens, lights come back on. Test run your switch before you put the plate back over, the cover back over the bed. Otherwise, you're going to end up with some problems. Now, the ground wires off of the switch, all this is intended to do is break the ground. So you're going to take the black wire that runs off of your ground wire that runs off of your lights, and off of each side, you're going to splice those into the black wire of the switch, and that way it breaks your connection. Those will go into one end of the switch. The other end of the black wire for the switch will go to any ground on the truck, preferably to the frame. These wires will cover up once the cover is back on here. Okay, back at the front of the vehicle, and the fuse panel is inside the under the hood, and this is on the 07 Avalanche. What you're gonna, once you take this cover off of the fuse panel, you're going to go to fuse panel fuse location number 21, and this is for the headlight. And all you do is you run your power wire, wrap it around the fuse link, push the fuse back in, and then just all I did was I ran this wire back down, and you've got to run the hot wire all the way back to your lights. So route it around the frame however you best see fit. I recommend using a conduit, this is a conduit type right here. Wrap your wire in that, keep it out of the way of any moving parts, and then run it all the way back and splice it straight into the red wire off of your lights. You're gonna have 4 lights, but you'll have 2 red wires, 2 ground wires. The 2 ground wires will be spliced into one end of the switch in the tailgate, the other end of that one going to the frame, and the red wire will be spliced into the two wires that you'll join together, the 2 red wires from your left and right side power wires. Again, this is number 21. This is a 20 amp fuse. It's for the headlight washers. Okay.